Okay. First, I would like to welcome everybody to Anonymously Spoken. This is just a Hi, everybody. Welcome to Anonymously Spoken. Today's topic is going to be on stress and anxiety in the millennials. So I deal with anxiety myself on a daily basis. I mean, as soon as I wake up to when I go to sleep, I deal with anxiety all the time. All the time. And I know for a fact that anxiety is a major issue in millennials. So, let's start off with why or what the media is saying about anxiety in millennials. So, truth is, no one can really explain the millennials generation ways or their actions. Like, no one knows why the millennials do what they do or why they act the way that they act. We all know that. We can't understand ourselves, so we wouldn't expect y'all to be able to understand us. We get that point. But what we trying to understand is why it's so many of us that's our age, between what the millennials, their age is what, 23 to mid late 30s. I don't know. We about to figure that out. Okay, so what the media is saying is that even though that they cannot explain the reason why millennials do the things that they do, are because at the end of the day, the millennials think and act their own way. That's a fact. That's stamped. We're going to leave that there. The media is trying to say that the only thing that they are certain of is that the millennials are stressed out. I mean, of course we stressed out. Who ain't stressed out? But it gets deeper. It gets deeper than that. The millennials is, I mean, they trying to say that 17% of the millennials are depressed. I knew that it was people out there that are depressed and that are fighting anxiety, and that's going to, like, they're going through a lot of stress. But I did not know that the percentage was that high. I'm thinking that it was about 8% or so, but it keeps growing every year. It gets more and more, and that was from 2000. That's the numbers from 2017. So 17% of millennials are depressed. 14% of millennials suffer from anxiety, and then they're saying that another 30% of millennials basically see themselves as being failures, saying that most of the millennials don't see themselves where they want to be in life. They know and they think that they should be way ahead of themselves or way ahead of the position that they're at now. So, me being a millennial myself, I could totally agree with everything that I just read. So, that's going to make me keep reading. I'm going to keep reading it. So, um, they basically trying to say that some of the millennials and 75% of the Gen Xers, I'm not sure if the Gen Xers come before or after the baby boomers, but it's like anxiety and depression, it hits one generation, then it skips one, and then it hits one, and then it skips one. But the way the world is working its own things out, I'm not really sure if the cycle is still going like that. So I'm gonna keep reading and see what they say. They basically trying to say that we more stressed out because we don't have that income, that stability that we want in life. We not rich. we're not able to touch that paper like we see them people in the videos and on TV touching. We want to be like them so bad. Then that's what they're saying. They saying that those are the biggest factors that contribute to our stress, our anxiety, and our depression. Okay. I'm really not sure. I'm gonna be neutral on that. I can't agree or disagree with that. Only because I'm the type of person that material shit does not matter to me. I don't care nothing about materialistic stuff. I don't care about how much money I have. I don't care about the newest clothes, jewelry, cars, rims, paint jobs. I don't care about none of that. So that's not causing my stress. That's not causing my anxiety. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to agree or disagree with that. That could be a fact. But I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, so don't want to get too depressing, but this is about to really this is about to get real. This is definitely about to get real. So back to what I was saying about the factors that contribute to the stress and anxiety in the millennials. So first of all, let's do the definition of the millennials. Well, it's really not the definition, but it's something that needs to be known. The millennials are the generation Y. In between X, Y, and Z. So we in between X and Z. That's a whole different topic. But back to that stress and anxiety. From what the media is trying to say, basically, most of the millennials deal with stress, depression, and anxiety. They saying that we burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Like we done been through so much in our lifetime already, from a childhood perspective all the way up until now. And I agree. I agree with that part because, like I've been saying for years, and this is when I was probably about 13, 14, I feel like I'm just so much older than what I am, because even though I'm only in my late 20s, I feel like all the stuff that I done been through in my life make me so much older than what I really am. That's how I feel. So I do agree with that. They are able to tell that the millennials are the ones that deal with the most stress and anxiety, because the deaths that has been occurring in the United States alone over the last 10 years have basically been people that have been dealing with bipolar disorder, depression disorder, anxiety. They have these mental issues and they don't know how to open up about them, and they don't know how to talk to anybody about these issues, and it start fucking with your mental. So just from that alone, having these issues, you got to learn how to cope with them. You have to learn how to deal with them and not let them deal with you. Like you don't want to let them control your life. So you got to find ways to cope with these issues, figure out a way to deal with these issues, take control of these issues, and not let them ruin and take control of your life. Especially when it comes to the deaths of, when they try to say stress, when people stressed out from experience, like I've known people that have just given up on life. I've known people that has had a choice whether they wanted to live or die. And I know that's deep and you might not understand what I'm trying to say. and you never been in that situation or having to be around anybody that's done that or that has made that decision on whether or not they want to live or die, you would not know. You wouldn't be able to understand that until you step inside those shoes and have to deal with that on your own. So I see what the media is trying to say, and I'm guessing that they targeting the millennials because they really don't understand us. They don't know how to put what we going through into, terms that's understandable. You can't really understand us and what we've gone through and what we've been through. You would never be able to understand that until you go through it. So it's 2020 now, and I'm pretty sure that the numbers of the people that have passed away or that have overdosed, committed suicide, or however it happened, the people that they are numbering and that they are putting down, the ages of the millennials that they are targeting, saying that deal with anxiety and stress and depression the most, are the people that are between the ages of 23 and 40. That's the people they are targeting. And I see on Wikipedia, and is there on Wikipedia saying that researchers and popular media used the early 1980s as starting birth years and the mid 1990s to early 2000 as the ending birth years of the millennial generation. Now that is some deeper shit, deeper than what I knew already. So moving along, it's saying from 2007 to 2017, all adults ranging from ages 18 to 34 saw an increase of 69% of alcohol related deaths, dealing with stress and anxiety, mixing it with alcohol, dealing with, motorists or something similar in that nature, drinking and driving. I'm sure that's what it's pertaining to. And then, believe it or not, it's saying that the people ages 18 to 34 had a 108% increase of drug related deaths. Where they overdosed on heroin or opiates or, some stronger relatable drug as those. And then the other one, 35% increase of deaths caused by suicide. All of this ties in together to them to be tied to stress and anxiety. And I would honestly say that I could agree with that too, because everything is connected. People that's stressed out, dealing with anxiety, or whatever the case may be, they might be dealing with PTSD, some stuff that they had to deal with growing up in their childhood. You never know what a person is dealing with. So that might be the reason for them to want to shoot up heroin or sniff cocaine, or like even people, popping pills and drinking. It just, people find different ways to deal with the stuff that they been through. They use all different outlets. They use all different type of drugs. They do different things because of what they've been through. It's all tied into anxiety and stress and depression. All of that comes from within you. And that's what the media is saying. Even though young adults are more inclined to engage in high risk behaviors, I mean, then you go down the list and it's saying disproportionate. The millennials, most of us have been to jail. Disproportionate the millennials in high stress environments like correctional facilities. So there it is right there. Most of us been in jail. Most of us know people that been to jail. Like it gets deeper and deeper because the way that you live your life, the things that you go through in your life, it always have an effect, whether it's good or bad. It does, you know. Then you got people out here that's dealing with depression to the point where they don't even want to get up in the morning. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to talk to nobody. They gonna live behind the phone and Facebook for the rest of their lives if they could. They don't want to do anything because they so depressed. And it's hard to even speak on that level because unless you've been through real depression or know somebody that's really been depressed, you really don't know what it feels like. I can honestly say from experience, depression is the worst. I don't even know what to call it. Like, I really don't. I don't know. Like, it's the worst mental issue, thought, whatever that goes through your head and shut your body down. It's the worst. It's the worst thing to ever have to go through, to the point where you just feel like you here for no reason. You have no reason at all to be here on earth no more. Like, you just don't want to be here. You don't need to get up today. You don't need to do nothing today. You don't need to brush your teeth. You don't need to wash your ass. You don't need to do nothing but go to the bathroom, from the bathroom to the bed, bathroom to the bed. That's how them people that be depressed be. Like, they don't want to change their clothes. They don't want to get dressed. They don't want to open the blinds. They don't want to see outside. They don't want to see the kids. They don't want to see the pets, the animals. They don't want to see none of that shit. All they want to do is crawl up in their bed and feel like shit. And they don't have any control over that. When you become depressed, that depression takes over you. I don't know what depression really is, but it is a mental something that takes over your whole body. It shuts it down and makes you feel like you don't belong. Like nobody values you. It just makes you feel so low, like you don't need to be here. When you become depressed, it messes up your daily activities. It messes up your relationships. It triggers something in your brain to make you want to shut down and stop living. I mean, it's so many other things that the media tried to say, but basically they're saying that the millennials really don't have those real relationships. They don't have those real connections. They don't, like, I'm just my dad has friends from 30 years ago. My dad had friends for years, for generations, and that's what they're trying to say. This right here, millennials can't keep friends. They don't know how to be social because they use all this technology and everything else to communicate for them. They don't know how to be social. And I can honestly say I agree with that. Like, the media, they got some facts going on about the millennials, where I can't get mad. I can't be mad about it because this shit is here. Like, it's there. It's there. Me speaking from experience, me being a millennial, I know it's the truth. It's there. So, I mean, let me see what else they say. And that's honestly another thing. Me being me and me being the type of person that I am, I like to have these close vibes with people. I like to give people a chance to be within my circle, to share my blessings and to come in. But I had to learn the hard way that that's not the way that you really want to go about living your daily life, because people not own the same type of shit that you own. So you have to be more careful when it comes to that. Even the media can actually say that they letting you know that. They letting you know that. But moving back towards the issues, the anxiety, the stress and depression, you know, they basically saying the mental burdens that the millennials have today, because they're not able to build those strong support systems and strong social circles like the generations before them had. They basically trying to say that we don't have outlets. We don't have people to talk to. We don't have places to go anymore. We don't have people that volunteer like they did back in the day, you know, like Big Brother, Big Sister. They don't have that for people our age. You know, when we turn either 21 and 24, we get cut off. Unless you got money or Medicaid to pay for that shit, you're not going to be able to talk to nobody. And most of us, we don't have any money to sit there and just pay out to anybody to talk to them about the troubles and the stress and the anxiety that we had and that we went through coming up, and the reason why we are the way that we are today, and to try to get the real help, advice, and support that we need. We don't have the money to do that. We shouldn't be charged to do that. And that's why you have all these deaths and stuff. They put a number on it. 36,000 people died just in 2017 alone from anxiety, stress, and depression. And they used drugs, alcohol, and committed suicide and had overdose and were in car crashes because of the things that they were going through in their head. So if you going through a certain type of situation, or you just been robbed, or you just been laid off, or you just been fired, or you just been in a car accident, or you just been robbed, or your spouse cheating on you, or some shit you went through when you was coming up, or your kids going through something is bothering you on another level. Who do you have to go to talk to and get that off your chest without being judged about everything that you're going through, everything that you've been through? Like, who can you really open up and tell that to without being judged, without somebody judging you? So, I mean, they basically said right there, we don't have anybody to go and talk to. Then when we find our spouses and the people that we fall in love with and that we want to open up to, it's basically already too late, because we done held it in for so long. It done took over us, like we already broken to a point where we possibly cannot be fixed. We already fucked up, and it's probably gonna be hard for somebody to love us, but it's not their fault and it's not our fault. We didn't have that outlet. We didn't have that support. We didn't have that advice. We didn't have anybody to talk to. We never had that. We had to go and pay for that. We don't have that. So that's why I decided to come up with anonymously spoken, but it make it easier to go there and express yourself and just get it off your chest, get some feedback, get some support, get some advice. People there is going to respond to you because they care. They're not going to charge you anything. You don't have to pay anything. It's all there for you because we care and we support you in what you have going on. A lot of people don't have that. I didn't have that. So that's why I had to go out there and create that for all of us. Not just y'all, but I went out there and I created that for myself. I have mental issues and I done been through things and I want to talk about it and I want to get it off my chest, but I didn't have anywhere to go. Now, my website, my blog, my book, I can express myself. I can say exactly what I want to say, how I want to say it, to who I want to say it to, without having to worry about anything. Like, yeah, you know who it's coming from. If it has an anonymously spoken name on it, it's coming from me. But the other stories, and everything else that's going to be on there and that's involved on there, you don't know whose stories they are. All you can do is listen to them, read them, and give them feedback. Be their support system. Be to them who you want someone to be to you. Support them. Give them that feedback. Let them know that it's people out there that's just like them and that they're not alone. That's all people want, is a place that they can go and not to be judged. Like when I post something on Facebook, I don't need people hopping on my comments. Oh, so. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I need some real good advice. Like some professional advice, but not professional advice. Some real advice, but not extra advice. It's just like I just need people that's on the same type of level and stress level and things that I need people that I can relate to talk to. If you never been through the things that these type of people are going through, then you would not be able to relate to them. Like you have to be able to relate to them to be able to give them some type of advice, or to be able to respond to them, or just be able to let them know, like, hey, this is what I did in this type of situation. Maybe you should, A, B, and C. Shit like that really matters, because you just can't be no random person and hear somebody's story and go to saying, oh, you should do this, or you should do that. No, that's not what we are looking for. Like we really looking for some support, some real advice from people that really care. That people done been there, that done that, that experienced that, and that's able to just vibe with you on a certain different level. A lot of people can't vibe with you when you're dealing with anxiety and stress and depression. A lot of people don't know what that is. A lot of people haven't experienced that. A lot of people can't say, oh, yeah, I done dealt with that too. This is what I use to cope with it. Or, this is the type of weed I smoke to cope with it, to deal with it, to calm my anxiety down, or to calm my panic attacks, or to, step me up a little bit. People that ain't going through what you going through and that ain't never been through what you've been through cannot relate to you. And that's why you can tell them your story. They might listen to your story, but they ain't gonna have no response. They not gonna have no response to your story. All they be like, damn, for real? That's fucked up. That's all you gonna get. That shit gonna get on your nerves. That shit gonna stress you out more because you trying to get shit off your chest. And it's like motherfuckers that ain't been there, ain't never heard nothing what you got going on, nothing what you about to say, ain't never heard none of this shit that's about to come out your mouth. So they don't know how to respond. When they hear that shit, they don't know how to respond. Because that's some real life shit that you hitting them with. They ain't used to that shit being all up and close and personal with them. They used to that shit being on the movies and shit. They think that shit out there is fake. They think that shit made up. Oh, anxiety. That's what that white girl had on Lifetime. Shit like that. That shit is going to piss you off. But on anonymously-spoken.com, that's where you going to get what you trying to get. When you trying to vent, when you trying to express yourself, that's where you should go. That's your best bet. That's when you looking for that outlet, when you need that platform, anonymously-spoken.com.